Welcome back to the Explainer. All right, we are going to jump right in today because our focus is ACIM Lesson 10. If you're here to really understand the mechanics of the mind as laid out in this text, well, you are in the exact right place. So let's get straight to work. The exact lesson we are unpacking today is a profound, honestly, kind of paradigm-shifting statement. My thoughts do not mean anything. Now, I know that sounds a bit jarring at first, right? But as we'll see, the source text doesn't present this as some huge loss. It's actually meant to be an incredibly liberating realization. So let's really break this down. We need to distinguish between that everyday, constant chattering of thoughts you're usually aware of and your actual, real thoughts. The text points out that your everyday thoughts are, frankly, meaningless. They're based on the outside world rather than coming from within, and they're entirely tied to the past. Real thoughts, on the other hand, represent true thinking, and they are the absolute prerequisite for real vision. But here's the kicker the text brings up. Right now, you simply have no basis for comparing the two. You just don't. But it promises that when you finally do have that basis, you'll have zero doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts literally meant nothing. Now, check out this bold claim. The text argues that the very presence of these everyday thoughts actually means you aren't thinking at all. It's reiterating a point made earlier in the text. Your mind is, in reality, a total blank. The emphasis here is entirely on the complete lack of reality of what you think you think. It's basically asking us to look at all that mental chatter and recognize it for the meaningless static it truly is. Now, you might be wondering, isn't that a bad thing? Well, no. Embracing this nothingness isn't supposed to be scary. The text tells us, to recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. So, realizing your mind is filled with static is just the essential first step to achieving true spiritual vision. You literally have to clear out the illusion before you can see what's actually there. Section 1. The mental procession. Observing without judgment. Okay, to actually put this into practice, the text uses this fantastic metaphor. It asks you to imagine watching an oddly assorted procession going by. Just picture yourself standing on a sidewalk, watching a totally random parade of items that have absolutely zero personal meaning to you. That's how we're taught to search our minds, finding available thoughts without selecting them and absolutely without judging or classifying them. You just watch them march right on by. Section 2. How to practice. Executing Lesson 10. Let's get into the nitty-gritty mechanics of the exercise itself. Step 1, you just close your eyes. Step 2, introduce the exercise by repeating today's central idea to yourself very slowly. Step 3, you'll add a specific release phrase. And step 4, you begin searching your mind for that oddly assorted procession we just talked about, completely free of judgment. So let's take a closer look at that release phrase. Right after you repeat the main idea, you add this really powerful statement. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Saying this out loud sets your intention for the practice before you even start digging into your mind. It basically preps your brain to just let go. Then, the mental search actually begins. As every single random item in that procession crosses your mind, you apply this very specific formula. This thought about blank does not mean anything. So for example, this thought about my grocery list does not mean anything, or that thought about my argument yesterday does not mean anything. You apply it totally indiscriminately, stripping every single thought of its false personal meaning. Section 3. Daily practice schedule, commitment, and guardrails. The text explicitly recommends exactly 5 practice periods of this mind searching throughout your day. Just 5 quick little moments to reset and apply the lesson. Pretty doable, right? But there are some pretty strict guardrails for these 5 periods. You need to keep each session to a maximum of 1 minute. The text is super clear on this. Do not extend the time. In fact, if you start feeling any discomfort at all, drop it to 30 seconds or even less. Just remember to repeat the idea and the release phrase slowly before you apply it specifically. Oh, and a quick side note, you can obviously use today's thought for any distressing thought that pops up at any time, even outside your formal practice sessions. To wrap things up, we absolutely have to reiterate our main lesson statement for today. My thoughts do not mean anything. That is the absolute core takeaway to carry with you. So just keep this quick summary of your daily commitment in mind as you go about your schedule today. 5 times a day for a maximum of 1 minute each time. It's highly efficient. And hey, if this explainer brought you some clarity today and helped you grasp this lesson, please make a quick note to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive. It really helps us out. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder as you practice releasing all that you now believe today. If your current everyday thoughts mean absolutely nothing, what profound realities might true vision reveal once your mind is finally cleared? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy practicing.